watching Thrifty Kaniffy.
Hello everyone and welcome to Thrifty Kaniffy. Well, today I have a Rough Rider review for you guys. This is a Rough Ryder Sowbelly Stockman from the Long Rifle series. Came out just this year, and I've been waiting patiently for this knife for more than a year. They announced it on the Smoky Mountain Knife Works website back in November of 2022, and they've just now released it this year. Now, it comes in a tin like this, aluminum tin with the Minuteman on there, the RY spelling for Rough Rider, and it's embossed where it says Long Rifle there. You can see it on the inside a little easier. Foam cutout for the knife, and then it came in this white sleeve. Now, this is the model number RR2619. Now, a lot of you might be asking, well, didn't they do a Long Rifle series in the past? Yes, they did. And in fact, they released a Sowbelly in the same series back in, I don't know, early 2000s or 90s. Not exactly sure exactly when this was released. I'd have to go look it up, but came with a decorated sleeve, as you can see here. Just for reference, this is model number RR552. And yeah, you can see this is decorated with the flint stock rifle and the powder horn. And yeah, really nice embossing on the lettering on this one as well. But you can see this is quite a bit darker than the new one. This is more of a smooth brown bone, whereas this is more of a burgundy. So quite a bit different. And there's some differences in the knife itself. So it's not like they've just released exactly the same thing. You can see the shield's quite a bit longer. We have straight bolsters instead of diagonal bolsters. There's a half stop on the new one where there's not on the old one. So there are some pretty significant differences there. But yes, there has been a Long Rifle series in the past. All right, so let's get into the RR2619. So yes, like I said, I've been waiting for this knife for more than a year. And some of you may know I do collect all the different Rough Ryder Sowbelly Stockman from Rough Ryder. So I've been waiting for this knife for some time. And so, yeah, without further ado, let's get into the review of this. So we have, like I say, a burgundy style smooth bone. The diagonal bolsters with the thread on either end. We have some pretty nice smooth transitions on either side. That Long Rifle is, or flint stock, is laid down really nicely inside there. Not feeling any proud spots or anything like that. The pins are nicely smoothed over. We have some nice hafting around the edges of the perimeter, so we're not having any issues with the edginess that you might find on some Chinese knives. Feels like the elbows have been rolled over a little bit too, to make them a little easier to deal with as you go in and out of the pocket. We have good fit finish here. No gaps in the springs or the liners. That all looks really good. Happy with that. So overall, built really well. Again, like I say, this has half stop on the blades. And we do have that wonderful little clip point blade there. As most Stockmen do, they will have the clip point, the Sheepfoot, and the Spey blade. This is no different. And you do get that half stop there. So the pull on it is about a 7. Let's look at that Long Rifle etch. Blade edge there looks fairly consistent till you get about right here. It gets a little wider. That's pretty typical of most Rough Riders. Match strike pull, crescent style. It sort of looks like an eyelash, I guess you'd say. And there's the swedging there. And there's a good look at the width of the spine. And if we look at the tang, we can see the stamp there. Back-to-back R with the RY spelling for Rough Rider below it. And if we look at the model number there, it's RR2619 with China as the country of origin. And there's your blade steel designation, 440 razor sharp steel. So that's going to be 440A. Now, these are mirror polished, so they are going to pick up fingerprints. And that's just something you got to recognize. Blade length on this is 2 5/8, let's call it. It's just slightly above that, but not quite 2 3/4. This is a 3 3/4 inch closed knife. I'll give you a measure of that as well. And here, we'll look at the Sheepfoot again, the half stop there. Mirror polished blade. Once again, you do get the full tang stamp on it. You can see there is just a touch of blade rub there. And you get a good, straight, even edge grind there. Match strike pull again, and you do have the swedging. On this side, a little bit more wonky on the blade grind. You can see it's kind of receding a little too much there on the edge. Like that is pretty far off, actually. And really no excuse for that. That's pretty bad. But you do get good pull on the blades. I'd say this one's maybe just slightly lighter than the main blade. Maybe about a 6, whereas the main blade was a 7. But very good action. And let's take a measure of this blade. So you got a full length of the blade right at 2 inches, cutting edge more like maybe 1 5/8 there. Yeah. So nice little sheep's foot blade. And here is our final blade, the Spey blade. Again, the full tang stamp on it. Match strike pull and crescent style, mirror finish on the blade. And you can see that grind's quite a bit lighter than the rest of them. Gets a little heavy towards the tip, maybe. But they've done a pretty good job to keeping that one nice and even. This is probably the best ground blade yet. But the Spey blade, of course, you know, meant for not puncturing. So it doesn't have much of a tip. But that's by design. Again, mirror polish on the blade. Half stop pull on this one. I'd say that's about like the other secondary blade, right about 6. Snaps into action pretty nicely. Pretty happy overall with the fit and finish of this. You will occasionally get that blade rub, which is pretty common for these Rough Ryder Stockman. But it's not too bad. It's not so heavy that it's feels like it's keeping the blade from going inside the cavity or anything like that. You can see that's nice and snappy. Doesn't have any issue going in there, nor does the main blade. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, this is a nice reintroduction of the series. I think they've done a pretty decent job. Do I think it's as good as the original? No, I don't. Some of those knives were incredibly well made back then, and while they have dropped off maybe slightly, I don't think they're far off. There are some minor differences that maybe make the older ones a bit better, but I think these new releases have been pretty sturdy and pretty straight, and still happy to pick these up for, you know, like the $16 price tag that they are. So they're still very affordable. They've kept the prices down on these, and they're still really good value for what you're getting. So there you go, guys. There is the RR2619. Again, the long rifle series. There's a look at the back of that packaging. I'm not sure I showed that earlier, but it gives you a little blurb about Teddy Roosevelt. I'll hold it there. You guys can read it if you'd like. But nice packaging. I like that Minuteman guy, and actually probably prefer the older packaging a little bit just because it's a really nice mixture of things on the table there. But nevertheless, this is still pretty strong. I like the look of the Minuteman guy there shooting that flint stock. So altogether, I think a really good value, and still well worth the $16 you pay to get hold of these Sowbelly Stockman. But that's going to do it for my review, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell to be made aware of videos. Stick around for the slideshow, and we'll see you next time. Take care.